Hi everybody, welcome back to those who've been hanging with me some time, and welcome to those of you who are new to my channel. I'm Adele Lavine, intuitive and medium. All right guys, real quick, just wanted to do some shout outs really fast. I'm going to be doing a class on remote viewing. That's going to be this Friday night online class where you guys can practice, and in this video I'm going to explain remote viewing and give you little tips how to get started. But in the class, this is going to be two people I'm going to pair you up and you're going to practice on each other. If you hear running around, that is my cat. If you hear saws, that is my neighbors. I don't know what to do. There's noise all around. All right. So other than that, I just wanted to let you know, obviously, if you've been following me, I've been doing lives on here. So check out when I'm going live and doing live readings and such like that. If you can like and subscribe, that really helps me to move up in the algorithm, and also follow me on Instagram. All right, let's do this video. First of all, does this look familiar? Has anybody followed the Johnny Depp trial or when it was on? I had this is water and lemon. I had this like a year ago. I got this at an antique shop, and it's obviously like a mason jar on a candlestick type of thing. And then I was watching, because I had to catch up because I couldn't watch the whole time, the trial. But of course TikTok has the whole mega pint thing, and I'm like, I have a mega pint, so cheers to you and cheers to Johnny. And I guess two great minds think alike kind of thing. All right, so this video is about remote viewing. So, okay, I'm going to be straight. I have been watching Stranger Things, and if you haven't been watching Stranger Things, you should. And if you need to catch up on the old episodes, go for it in the old seasons, but before you get to the current one. But Stranger Things, just so you know, and I've posted this on my TikTok plug. Can you throw something up, Cedric? TikTok plug. I've been posting on my TikTok. Just kidding. I'm not like posting a ton, but I have posted about Stranger Things, and that it's based on something real, which is called remote viewing, and how the CIA had a program back in the day to study psychic phenomenon and psychics. Yes, I think I don't know if I talked about this in videos before, probably, maybe, but I want to point out that the reason why Stranger Things is kind of interesting to me is because, one, I remote view, and two, it was based on the fact of studying psychics and their phenomenon. Of course, in that show, they cover telekinesis, which is moving things with your mind. There's only one person I know. Do you know who you are? That kind of turns things on and off, and lights on and off, and TVs on and off. Do you know who you are, who I'm talking about? That can do this, which is not the same as moving things, but I'm really convinced of this person who wants to admit that it's them. Practice they could. However, the show is mostly centered around the whole like psychic phenomenon, but I would say it's equally centered around remote viewing and telekinesis. So remote viewing is different than astral projection. So first, I just want to give explanation of what it is. People kind of had said to me a lot on TikTok, like, oh, I know what this is because I've done it before. I did it on accident. One time I did this, one time I did that. That is astral projection. Remote viewing, you are given a target to focus on. So you focus on a person or a place, an area. And the reason why they were studying this with the CIA, because they really wanted to utilize it to search out, which is why the Russians are in the show, to search out what their enemy and the Russians were doing. Or enemies, or any enemies for that matter. So to see what they're hiding, or where they're hiding, or if they're hiding weapons and stuff. Remote viewing is when you have a target that you focus on, much like in the show with 11. They teach her by looking at that Coke can, and she's focusing on it. And of course, they're kind of teaching her to crush it. So they kind of move the show more into like, can she like hurt things, you know? So it gets a little crazy because it's TV. But it really does have the basic line. I feel, if you ever played the game Two Souls, anybody? It's very much similar to Stranger Things. Matter of fact, there's a lot of Reddit and other things on going, isn't Stranger Things two souls? But if you even go further back into reality, it is actually a CIA program that did exist, and some people think still exists, but some people think it has since been dismantled. And is the idea of focusing on a particular place and area, and you are awake and lucid and aware, and you see. It's kind of like being like a drone that can fly through the sky, invisible, and you see. But it's like you're holding the actual screen. So you're not the drone, you're the person holding the screen looking as the drone flies. The drone just represents your sight. It is not astral projection, which astral travel is when you go, oh, I feel like I was somewhere else in another room. I was walking around my room. Someone saw me once, like walking down the stairs, but I was asleep. That's astral travel, and it happens on accident. Remote viewing cannot happen on accident. It is something you are purposely trying to do, okay? And it's something you practice. So I am teaching a class, and I have taught a class on this, and what the best part about teaching is that people shock themselves that they're able to do this. So I pair you up, you have a focus on someone, and I help you, take you kind of a little bit on a journey and drop you down. And so that is a more extensive of this video, but I wanted to be clear because I get a lot of comments of people saying, oh, this happened to me, this happened to me. And I always have to say, if it happened to you, it's astral projection. If you have heard of remote viewing in the way I'm describing it as, or the CIA program, leave in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it, or maybe you know a little bit more, because for me, I remote view past, present, and future. If you've seen me reading, if you've seen me on my lives, or you've gotten a personal reading from me, then you have experienced me remote viewing. Because if you ask me about a particular person, so here's an example, you ask me about a particular person, I focus on that person, and I can see what's going on. So if you're in a relationship or you have a friend you're worried about, and I can remote view and see them. Now, how can you do some small steps at home if you wanted to do this? So step number one, you want to be in a relaxed state. It is important for you to be in a relaxed state. In the show, they tend to show her like in a sleep deprivation tank, okay? And they have her like kind of like removing all senses. That is something that actually is based, again, when you read about the CIA program, that they did do. They wanted to remove people's senses, not in the deprivation tank that I know of, but they did kind of have the idea of like removing, all distractions. So yes, you do want to be in a place with all distractions. Light a candle, light some incense if it gets you in that place, if you want to listen to music, but you do got to kind of turn off your phone, and not like you can't be answering a text while you're doing this, at least while you're learning to do this, okay? I can, but still, even me, when I'm like focusing, I don't want to look at anything. So I kind of look off. Once you kind of get into that state, you can either have your eyes open or your eyes closed. I tend to do this with my eyes open. You may want to do it with your eyes closed. So step 2, find a focal point. Have it written down. Write down like my friend, or my partner, or my work, okay? You have to have a focus point. Now, I'm going to say warning, warning, warning. Don't use this to invade people's privacy, and don't use this to invade people's privacy in the sense of like, well, I'm going to go check up on this person. And if you're not experienced at it, you're not going to know, like, did I really remote view, or am I making this up because I'm upset about this person? So you want to be careful in using this in an emotional way, because emotions is not going to help you remote view. You can't have emotions attached to it. Even when I've been concerned about people, I kind of have to remove myself emotionally to really look and see, because if I'm emotional, it doesn't work. So you focus on the person. Now, here is one exception. Please throw this up. One exception. You cannot use it to find missing people. Now, here's why. It just doesn't work. Now, I thought it was just me until one day I did read upon it someone on the CIA just happened to come upon this, because everything I learned first organically. It did say in this article that the one thing they found that was difficult was using it to locate people, that for some reason. Now, my theory is that you're interrupting with time. Even if you're looking for missing people, you're interrupting the flow of how someone's supposed to find something out and the organic way of finding things out, because you're going to interfere with that. That's just my theory. So if you're going to focus on someone, then thirdly, make sure it's someone you can confirm. So maybe tell the person that you're practicing on that I want to practice on you. I want a remote view. Do you mind? Will you mind doing it with me on the phone? Or confirm it on the phone when I'm done. Or can I text you? Or can I email you? So have someone that you know that you can practice on at first so that you can confirm. And fourthly is that confirmation. Once you see that, write down whatever you see, write down. But let me go back a step a little bit that I'm going to make kind of with fourth. So let's just say fourth and fifth. So fourth, after you focus on the person and you're really focusing on what they're doing, then you're going to have yourself come into a place of, okay, now that I'm focused on them, I want to imagine that you're going all the way up, in almost like to the moon, and you're looking at the earth from high, and you focus on the person. You imagine yourself going all the way down to that person. So you're like up in the sky, shooting down to that place. And then once you're there, step around, so to speak, and try to see what's on the outside, but go inside so you don't feel, or the person, they don't feel like you Google map them and things like this. So that's the fourth and fifth. The fifth is seeing what you see and then write it down. When you're done, write it down right away. Six, in a way, I wouldn't say that it has to be like, called six, but I already said confirmation. So you want to call or text or email the person to tell them what you saw so you can get confirmation. So here are some simple ways to start remote viewing. But I am going to tell you that it is something you have to practice. It is something easier to learn with someone who knows what they're doing, which is why they were even teaching people in the CIA. I'm not trying to say this just because I'm doing a class, because this is only a one-off class in this video. I'm not saying I won't do a class again, but this class is only this Friday and you could be watching this way past the class. However, if you do practice this, you have to make sure that it's remote viewing and not astral projection, and know the difference. If you are someone who has a natural tendency to do astral projection, you probably are going to catch on to this pretty well, because you're understanding, you're not scared of it. And the fear of doing these type of things tends to get under people's skin. So, did I pique your interest? Are you interested in it? I have other video on here, and of course I have my book, Peering into the Narrow Room, where I talk about remote viewing. I talk about remote viewing a lot because this is what I do daily on my readings. I did it like a million times, in my career, but like today I did it like, I don't know how many people I read online, and I'm using it all the time. I would have to do a part 2 to kind of explain how you see the past, and because that's a little bit more tricky, but maybe just practice the remote viewing for the present, and seeing the future is a little tricky too. So maybe I have to do a part 2 and 3. I hope that piqued your interest, and like I always say, follow yourself, follow no one, listen to your inner voice, take a mega pint, and I'll see you soon.